This is happiness, to be everything at once. Be unblinded, be unlearned, be unbridled and unburned.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to a brand new episode of Mood Prep. My name is Dave Nixon, and today I want to go through and pull apart a little bit as best I can in 10 minutes. It's always a bit of a challenge. What makes a good leader, right? And what is a leader? I mean, I suppose it's similar to the idea of a coach, right? And a lot of PTs will just put the word coach on their shirt, and all of a sudden they're a coach. It's like, it doesn't really work that way. A boss may call themselves a leader, but that may not really be that way. And in fact, it's almost like you don't get to choose that. Like, you get called that because of who you are, as opposed to telling people that you're a leader. And so if people feel that you are a leader, they're more inclined to say. I remember being part of a coaching group. When I say coaching group, there was a he called himself a business coach. He was a marketing coach, actually. All credit to him for that role, but either way. And he put up a post, and I was sort of like kind of in, kind of not. Something didn't quite feel right. I put up a post. He put up a post, and he said, after one of the mastermind weekends, the only mastermind weekend that I went to, but he put it up and said, every tribe needs a leader and every leader needs a tribe. And I sort of looked at it and I'm like, dude, mate, there is not a universe that I could see you as my leader. Sure, you're definitely the head of this group, so to speak, but I just don't think you have leadership qualities to what I would label that as. And so that sort of sat with me. I'm like, that doesn't really fit right. Maybe then in that case, this isn't my tribe. And so that was a way for me to observe the difference between, the people that may call themselves leaders and label it that way, as opposed to the people that are labeled leaders. Now, even that gets a bit interesting, because the real leaders create more leaders, whereas your false prophets, so to speak, will create followers. And so there's a big difference between leaders creating leaders and leaders creating followers, especially in today's age with social media, where it's more inclined to jump on Instagram and go, well, your following says followers. Same with Twitter, even in likes on Facebook, it seems to be that there's people following your stuff. Whereas true leaders will help create more leaders. And that's how you change whatever industry you're in. That's how you change whatever sort of democracy. It's how you create change, is by creating more leaders and more free thinkers, as opposed to people just following some sort of doctrine, which is quite interesting. So it's really about establishing what the difference is between a couple of things. Firstly, it's the difference between a boss and a leader. And a boss will often, they may get the exact same result out of their people. The difference is that a boss will use intimidation, whereas a leader will work with the people, right? A boss has employees that work for him or her, whereas a leader has people that work with him or her. And this is a really big distinction. So even for our team here, it's like, they're my team. They're not my employees. I don't fucking own these people. I am fully aware and conceptualize that they're employed by the company that I own. But if I said, hi, this is one of my employees, Mick, he would look at me weird and be like, what? Because we also have to be very mindful, if you're in a leadership position, are you leading via your role, your status, your label, or are you leading through discipline? Are you leading through autocracy? Are you leading through presence? And this is a really big distinction. So you have someone that leads from this place of, this is my title, and therefore that's what they're almost using a title which you're not your title at all, because that can be stripped away from you in a moment, and then therefore your identity is taken, it's gone, it's just diminished, and that's it. Whereas if you are a leader regardless, then you don't need a title. You don't need a shirt that says coach. You don't need that, because you don't need to have somebody, you don't need to tell somebody that you're the coach or that you're in charge. You're able to lead people through working with them, not getting them to work for you and be intimidated by you. And that way, in the micro, the job will get done. and it'll be done with more love and passion and care. And in the macro, that person's more inclined to be around and work with the passion, and they're more inclined to tell you if they're going to leave, whether that be a client or whether that be a team member of yours as well. So it's really crucial to sort of like really pull this apart and go, there's a big difference between a boss and a leader. And then even within leaders, there's people that lead by title and people that lead by presence. And you want to be a person or a coach or an individual or, a manager, and that's another interesting thing. I'll get into that in a second. But a leader who leads by presence, who people want to work with, right? They want to work with you because you're going somewhere. Not that they want to work for you because you want to just set your business up so you don't have to work. Like, fuck. I just don't think that sits... I believe that's a really, like, dehumanized way to view the world. To be like, I'm going to set this business up and have people work for me. And I've seen people like, yo, these are my minions, and people make a joke of it. It's like, they're fucking humans. They're not minions. They're not, they are human beings. They have goals, they have values, they have wants, they want to develop, they're continually unraveling their life, they have challenges. They're not here placed on this earth to serve your every fucking need so you can drink cocktails on a beach. And so this is a really important understanding of like, well, do you have people around you that have been with you for long term? And truly, that's a really important question, because if you don't, then I don't know. I don't think that maybe the team members, everyone that's left, is the issue. There's a common denominator here. And so your ability to be able to lead by presence is because it allows the person to be actually influential and make an impact rather than being inauthentic and more so come from this idea of trying to be persuasive rather than influential. And that's a really important distinction, because when we really look at it, management and leadership are two different things. So think of it like this. There are three qualities. There's many more qualities, but there are three qualities that a leader must have. A good leader must have fantastic vision. They must have a very vast vocabulary and the ability to communicate to all different types of people, to be able to speak on their level and meet them where they're at. But they also must have this absolute unwavering ability to move towards the unknown, to move towards some sort of chaotic, because they're leading you somewhere, they're going somewhere, and they have to be able to be brave and resilient enough to move towards the unknown. Whereas managers, they simply make sure and manage order. And they're actually, if you really pull it apart, the managers are actually trying to restrict the actual leadership, because what they want to do is almost keep things the same on some level. They don't want change. And this is a very general overview, and I'm throwing general terms here. But if you look at those two things and pull it apart, leadership is about moving towards something new. It's about the new horizon, whatever that may be, from simply getting new equipment for your facility right through to trying to change an industry, right? Whereas managing is crossing all the T's and dotting all the I's. Now, we have to run a good system, culture, community, business, family, we have to have a balance of both. One is not more important than the other. If you value the unknown and moving towards it more than order, then you're probably going to miss your T's, dot your I's, and come across a lot of challenges that might sink you. But if you are all order and all management and just deal with how it is and how it's always been, then at some time you're going to be redundant. And so we need a balance of both. And a good leader will understand that. They'll understand the importance of moving towards chaos while crossing the T's and dotting the I's. The only other quality that I think a good leader, out of those three qualities of vision, the linguistic capacity to be able to influence, and also the ability to unwaveringly move towards the chaos and the unknown, is to take complete and total responsibility, right? Total, like extreme ownership, in Jocko Willink's words. And so I encourage you to look at leadership and management very different, right? Challenge it, and even challenge my thoughts on this. That's fine, but it's looking at it and going, leaders create more leaders, and poor leaders, if I may, will create more followers. So you want to look at the people around you in leadership roles, and if you're in leadership role, and think about really what you're doing. And also, good leaders will lead with a place of their presence, right? Their influential skills. Whereas a poor leader will lead from their position, their title, their status, their label. A good leader will meet their people where they're at and bring them with them, Whereas a poor leader will tell people what to do and keep people in this minion sort of space to like try and keep their status. And so the importance of understanding the difference between leadership and management is because we are all parts of competence hierarchies. Unfortunately, as hierarchies go, there are some hierarchies that are based more on power or based more on, keeping old systems running that no longer will work in the future, and it's just going to run a company, business, or corporation to the ground. But the reality is that these are all hierarchies. We're all leading something, and we're kind of all following something as well. Because, I've sort of pulled apart the following concept a little bit on this, but I do really believe that it's important for you to learn how to follow, because when you do follow things that you value, or people that you value, people you look up to, you pick up the habits of the people that you want to emulate. And this is powerful because then you can really use those values to lead as you pull yourself apart and build yourself up again. Team, I'm going to finish that there. If you found this podcast very beneficial, I would love it if you would share it with a friend. That's kind of it. That's me done for today. Thank you very much for listening. As always, I really appreciate it. Until next time, peace and pizza, kick today in the dick, and slay the dragon. I'll see you soon.
To be everything at once, be unblinded, be unlearned, be unbridled and unburned.